Yo guys, it's JJ here, and as you've seen by the title of the video today, I'm going to be taking you through a Nav beat, and of course it's for his newest album, Demons Protected by Angels, as you guys can see. And before we get into this, I've lost my voice, so just bear with me if I sound a bit off. And without further ado, let's just jump into it. So first of all, we got an instance of Analog Lab, and we've got a preset called Dracula. It's a nice little synth key. This is more of like a really vibey Nav beat, like one that you can ride a wave on, I'd say. And I came up with this quite nice chord progression, and essentially it's the root notes copy and pasted over, and then I came up with a minor chord, two major chords, and then back down to a minor. Make it even better, I added a few extra top notes, and I think that turns it into what you guys would call a seventh chord. And then for the second half of the A bar, it's essentially the same melody, but just added a bit more variation, you know, transition notes, just to give it a bit more of a different vibe, not too repetitive, you know how it'd be. And then on top of that all, I clicked Alt R to randomize the velocity, of course, and then Alt S to strum the whole thing, so gives a bit of that human touch, super nice and vibey. And with all that being said, this is what the melody sounds like. And there you have it. Very nice, very vibey, super laid back, and it's exactly what I wanted to go for. As for effects, we got ourselves a basic EQ cutting off all the lows, an effects rack chain called Liquid Vibe, a bit of fruity delay as you guys can see by the presets and the way I've played it here, and then a bit of reverb, of course, just to give a bit of spacing within the mix. Sounds good overall. And then last but not least, 33% stereo separation. Just again, it makes it sit a bit further back in the mix, but it was done on purpose, of course. Next up in the melody, we got ourselves an instance of Purity, and this is for the bass line. So I grabbed a synth bass called Simple Try, and it's as simple as, no pun intended, just following the root notes of the original melody. So that's all you really need, and this is what it sounds like. And there you have it. Very straightforward, very simple. And as for effects, the only thing I added was a decapitator with dark fat and no EQing at all. Next up, we got ourselves an instance of Expand 2, and I opened this little ambient and effects bank, and I was just going through it, to be honest, and then I found this ambient droplet, and I thought it was a nice little bit of ear candy to the melody. Just again adds a little bit more of, it's like a textural element, to be honest, and I think it does the job really nicely. It creates more ambience, again considering it's from the ambient bank, and it's as simple as you guys can see, as a simple just C note being played every 4 bar, and this is what it sounds like. And there you have it. Very simple, just adds a bit more ambience, and it's a nice textural element. As for effects, I whacked on an EQ cutting off all the lows, and then of course a bit of reverb to push it further back in the mix and give it a bit more stereo separation. And then last but not least, to really widen the sound, I just stereo separated this to 100%. Next up, we got ourselves an instance of Nexus, and it's a preset called Acoustic Dream, and it's from the Big Orchestra Bank. I never used this preset before, and when I heard it, I personally think it's a gem in Nexus. Maybe it's commonly known, for me it's not, but I really like the sound. It's super nice. Acoustic Dream, really recommend it. And I use this preset to just create a nice little top line. It just repeats itself over a 4 bar, but then as you can just see, I just changed it up a bit for the second half, you know, bit of variety, but overall pretty much has the same elements as you could see. Once I got this melody laid down, I just clicked Alt R to randomize the velocity a bit, and with all that being said, this is what the melody sounds like. And there you have it. And when you hear it, it sounds super nice. And with the headphones, and when I go through the effect, you'll hear how it's being beautifully panned. And when the whole melody's together, I just think it really stands out. As for effects, I whacked on a basic EQ, cutting off, of course, your lows, your highs. And then there's a few frequencies I wasn't a big fan of, a few harsh ones, so took it down a bit. And then I added a decent amount of reverb, as you guys can see by the presets done, just to make it again sound further back in the mix, create a bit more ambience, because Nav really glides over these kinds of ambient beats, so that's what the whole point of it was. And then I stereo separated this approximately like 30-40%, just to again widen the sound a bit more. And then last but not least, we got ourselves an instance of Labs, and I got a preset called the Piano Pads Glass 1, and all I did was just follow like the chord notes and then just place these down as seemed appropriate, and then I just took it up an octave. It's really as simple as that, and it just repeats every 4 bar. It's a nice little textural element. It's far back in the mix. It's kind of like a pad. Well, it's in the name, it is a pad, so it did the job really nicely in my opinion, and this is what it sounds like. And there you have it. And now with all that being said, this is what the melody sounds like. And there you have it. But wait, there is more. So obviously there's a bit more to it. As you guys can see, as soon as I finished making the melody, I was like, let me experiment a bit. I rendered all the sounds out. I played with the pitch of the melodies a bit, and then I came to a conclusion that I quite liked it when it was 3 semitones lower. So that's what I did. And then with all that being said, that's all I did. Just took it down 3 semitones when I rendered the melody out. And now this is what the final product sounds like. Sounds super ambient, super low-key, super calm, super nav. You know what I'm saying? It's a very, very nice vibey beat, and I feel like I've accomplished it quite well, so let me know what you guys think. Now, obviously, a beat is not a beat without the drums, so let's just start off with the clap. As you guys can see, very generic clap pattern, using your Lex Luger clap. We all know what it is. We've all been there and done that, so let's just hear it. And there you have it. Then next up, I came up with a nice hi-hat pattern, and essentially it was very, very simple. When I made this, I first got a 2-bar, played a 2-step, and then just took off the snow. Simple as. Then for this section of the 2-bar, I added a nice little roll, and I'm pretty sure I had my magnet on, as you guys can see, half step. Then for the second half of the 4-bar, as you guys can see, I took off the note, same as the first 2-bar, and then at the end just added these nice little 2 rolls to finish it off, and then just copy and pasted it for a full 8-bar. Very simple, very straightforward. Doesn't need to be too much because again the melody does so much, you want your hi-hats to kind of be very lax. So with all that being said, this is what my hi-hat sounds like. And there you have it. Now, of course, for the 808, we got ourselves the pattern here. And all I did was just follow the root notes of the new melody. Bear in mind, it was initially at a C minor. And then, of course, taking it down 3 semitones goes from a C to a B, A sharp down to an A. So I came up with this pattern, then a bit of variation on the end. And of course, click Control A and use that scroller wheel to max your velocities always. Just have the drums be really punchy, the 808 super smacking, and that's all you really want from it. So with all that being said, this is what the 808 sounds like. And there you have it. Straightforward, simple, and lovely. Now we've got ourselves the kick pattern, of course, and it's just the 808 pattern followed as a kick, and I just click Control A, max your velocity as always, and from there, this is what the kick pattern sounds like. Bada bing, bada boom, and that's the kick. Then I added a little crash, you know, for a nice little bit of like, it's a nice little thing to have. So here's the crash. Really impressive. And then last but not least, I added this open hat, which repeats every 2 bars, and it just did the job nicely. I thought it suited the bounce of the pattern quite well. So here it is. And there you have it. So with all that being said, this is what the drum pan sounds like. And there you have it. The drums sound really good together. The bounce suits the melody quite well. Not too much, but not too simplistic. And of course, now you've heard all of it, you've made it to the end of the video. Thank you so much for watching. I really hope you guys have enjoyed this. Make sure you know to like, comment, subscribe, all that stuff, because all of it is highly appreciated. And of course, have a great week and take it easy. Peace.